program with Golden Triangle Asian Elephant Foundation. My name is O, and today I have special guest who will, not a special guest, someone who is an expert will come to teach you what can we do to teach elephant. Okay.
She is special.
Hello, Nissa.
สวัสดีค่ะ So good morning everyone. So welcome to the Golden Triangle Asian Elephant Educational Live Stream. So today we are basically going to talk to you guys about what we did yesterday in the Thai program. So it is a sort of like, this will be a more, well, hopefully I can actually educate you guys a bit more about the target training, how we could get it done, what is the principle behind it as best as I can explain. So for the elephants that we have today, so we will be showing you guys some of our previously trained elephants. So do keep in mind that you are seeing the result of months and years of hard work that is already done on the elephant. So this is going to look very, very easy. It is not the hardest thing that you can do for training the elephants, but of course you have to always make sure that the elephants and yourself are also patient enough to do them as well. So for the elephants that we have on in the target wall today, this is Yui. So Yui is our taller elephant. So we have the position, so some part of the essential personnel that you actually need to, you know, train the elephants is that definitely, of course, you need an elephant itself. Then you also need a trainer, which is Kun Tao over here, so our assistant elephant camp manager. You also need a feeder, so today is Kun Som Kit, also the mahouts of the elephants. And
We need elephants.
we need elephants to do this as well. And definitely you also have the, what we call the target wall, which is basically a type of protected contact that you need for these kind of training. So the rise of this, why do we need a protected contact? So as you know, the elephants is a very, very large animal. So they're bigger size and they actually can potentially hurt someone even though they don't really mean to, just because they're a little bit bigger. So you need to have a wall between you just to make sure that you can, you know, keep yourself safe and of course not stressing out the elephant themselves. So this is sort of like a classroom area for the elephants, and you can teach the elephants to do different kind of things. The positive reinforcement or the target training system that we actually do here is of course to prepare them for medical procedures or just husbandry procedures such as the management of the toe, the nails. You can teach them to basically accept hopefully a venipuncture or drawing blood. You can examination of the eyes, the side of the elephants, the tail. So essentially it is, for us, it is basically a medical sort of like procedures or medical training that the elephant goes through. So you can't really ask an elephant to, you know, out of the blue, just like, hey, can you keep still? It doesn't happen that way because the elephant doesn't have the command of the human language, you can say. So you actually need to do some kind of conditioning or for the elephants. So as part of the positive reinforcement, we basically use a rewarding system where you basically ask the elephant to follow a set of commands and you reward them when they do it correctly, which is you reward them with the food. So food for the elephants, of course, is going to be a lot for different place, have different kind of food. We try to use something that you can actually make a really big amount of or a very small amount of for varying size of the reward to make sure that the elephant understand that which kind of behavior is what we expected of them. So you have sunflower seed, we use sunflower seed. You can also use banana, you can use tamarind ball, or you can use different kind of fruits and vegetables cut up into chunks and you can give to the elephant as well.
But yeah, if it's too big, it's not good, right? Because elephant will take some time to eat it. So
Exactly.
the amount of food also have to be kind of quite small, but not too small.
Small but not too small, and of course not too big. And you also have to make sure that, you know, you pretty much know your elephant. So some of the food is basically the elephant will like. If the elephant like a particular set of food, it's basically a high gain. So they basically would love to eat it and they will be more willing to participate with you as well. So the protected contact wall is, let's see, it's basically an open classroom. So for us, we have a two-side wall. So it has one corner and then we have the other three corners kind of exposed. So the elephant can actually choose to interact with us, or they can choose to leave if they don't really want to. So we are not trying to force the elephant to stay in a classroom for, 30, 45 minutes because it is stressful. If you're stuck, say, in a calculus class or a physics class, you don't want to be there for like 90 minutes if you hate the subject or you can't understand what the professor was saying. So the elephant is the same way. Some elephant is more patient than others, and some elephant is less patient than others. So it is also have to be, attentive to the elephants that you're also training as well.
Okay. So we have target ball. What else do we need for target training? What is that stick? Is that herd elephant?
So that is a target, what we call, so the tools that you use for training the elephant is the target stick, which is varying size or varying length of the stick. So you can have a stick but it's very short. If the elephant is very familiar with the training, sometimes you can also use your hand, because if the elephant understand already what is expected of them, they would actually follow the command. But the stick basically would give you a little bit of space just to make sure that the elephant doesn't crash onto the wall too early when you didn't ask for it. Or it's basically an extension of a hand. It's pointing the elephants to the direction that you need. So that's one. Definitely trainer and feeder, and you also need a set of command. So a set of command that you guys are hearing now is basically English. So we are in the Golden Triangle in northern Thailand, so normally you would speak Thai.
Sawadee
But for the target training itself, we basically use English command to make sure that it's a different set of word that they're listening to. Some area or some trainers and feeder system or the target training system is going to use a whistle or blower or clicker, and that's fine. It is not limited to the medium that you're using. But for us here in Thailand, working with the elephant is essentially working with the Mahout cultures. They have been using voice command for hundreds and thousands of years, and we actually do believe that the elephant can actually understand the word itself. So there's no point in for us, or for me at the very least, is to use a clicker or whistle. Just seems a bit kind of sort of like for me it sort of raised a question mark, like why do we need a whistle or a blower if the elephant pretty much understands some of the word that we use already.
Is that concerned with kind of connection as well? Like, I mean, I feel like if I do something good, like, oh, that's good. Oh, I will like, yeah. Versus if you give me a clicker, like, maybe different meaning, but anyway, I feel like more connection with words.
Yeah, definitely, it's more. Definitely, there is some sort of. You kind of feel the word a bit more, the nuance of the word. You kind of feel it a bit more when you say like a word. So I mean, if say you do something good and then your teacher just say like, oh, very good, and they just give you a lot of like clicking sound, I guess that doesn't work in a way. But then
maybe a different way.
But then if a different way, well, if like you give a presentation and someone clap a lot, then you know that it's a good thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's probably different. It's probably different for the elephant too.
Okay. So we're gonna go close and see what Pitao is doing. Dewey is drinking for sure.
Yep. He's drinking.
Okay.
Just careful.
Don't blow to my phone or gimbal.
Yep. So basic foot care for the elephant, of course, is to inspect the foot and the sole of the feet. The elephant basically have to learn to put its hand or the front legs up onto a bar. So we have different level of the bar as well, so that some elephant might be short, some elephant might be tall, and for the ease of us, trimming the nail itself. Then also you also need different kind of like levels so that you don't break your back while you do it. It's not exactly like a horse that you can actually just bend down very, very low to do it. But I've seen some very tall person do it, but I think it's a physical limitation. So, yep. So if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to, ask, and we'll try to answer the best that we can. Something just popped up, right?
Do you know when we started to build this wall?
Ooh, when do we start to build this wall? My guess is 2008. That's John, Kun John ka?
Over 10 years now.
I think over 10 years because over 10 years because it comes in pieces. So if I remember correctly, I think maybe the front come up first and the shoot that is in the back is actually the later part. So it come in stages, but it's definitely over 10.
Well over 10 years, if I'm allowed to be on this one as well.
Of course.
So, yeah, you're right. The first bit is this L shape, which is the very basic start. Actually, nowadays, when we go on target training workshops, we tend to build them out of timber in the forest because it's much easier, and we will do a box shape. But for this, this is more professional. So it started with the L shape. First workshop we did, and I have to look up the date, but we didn't even have a roof, so everybody was sweating and horrible, and it was horrible. Then we built a roof on it. And then, as Dr. Nissa said, we built the chute behind for more to be able to do some, if we had to do some more invasive emergency procedures to keep an elephant in one place, which thankfully in the 5 or 6 years or 7 years, however many years we've had it, we've only had to use once. But the elephants should all be trained to go in there.
Good point.
Capex.
Capex for next year. The question from Kun Puk is about if elephant keep up by the time that Medicare is not complete yet, will you call back or wait until next time?
So you can try to convince the elephant to come back. So usually you try to, if the elephant say, so if Yui does it right now, she basically walked out. She basically, some of the elephant basically stand halfway, sort of like deciding whether they had enough or they want to come back. And then that's when we will have a mahout actually intervene a little bit. So they basically would call the elephant back for us. And if the elephant choose to come back, then we can give it some reward for, okay, thank you for still cooperating with us and continue to do so. But then you can't keep the elephant for long because you know that, the elephant is actually starting to lose attention already.
But also you need to know if, because you or Tao is the one who doing who doing it, right? So if it's not, like if it's okay to let them go, then you let them go, right? Because if it's at the middle of process and you cannot let she go, what's gonna happen?
So if it's, say, if it's in the middle of it, then we'll have to try to make sure to complete it as best as we can and then call her back for tomorrow. So say if I'm have a knife in my hand and I'm about to trim something and I gone halfway and the elephant walked out, it's basically, you also have to, if it's a manicure thing, then you have to actually see how the elephant is walking, because if it's going to hinder it from walking or standing in a very weird position, then you actually have to try to make sure to complete it as best as you can. You can give the elephant a little bit of rest, like a half-day rest or an hour rest, and see whether the elephant can still come back and work with you. But it is usually, we'll try to do it at once a day, just to make sure that they can also still, have some time to hang out by themselves.
Okay, well, we'll go close there. Hopefully we will not disturb Pitao. I see this equipment. Can you show me that one? I cannot. So we have some equipment a part of the target stick and food and of course trainer filter and ball. What is that one that Pitao is using, and also what is in your hands?
So the equipment that we use for the elephant is basically a set of hoof trimming thing. So it's basically, this is what we call a hoof knife, where it's basically used to trim the hoof of the horse, so it has a curved blade. And there is actually a right hand and a left hand one, so in different position and how you hold them in your hand. Then the one that Kun Tao is actually holding over there is a file or a rasp. So it has a very so it basically has a very rough grain. So this is very rough. So if you go against, your hand would probably come out like a cheese grater. And it also have a fine grain. This is actually a little bit more smooth for finishing up things. So you would use this for trimming away large pieces or bigger cracks. You use this to just round them out, or you can actually, or with some of with some let's see. So with some of the different systems. So well, for me, I'm a girl. Also, I'm a lady. Okay, I'm a lady. I don't have as much strength as Kun Tao, so sometimes I can't
Look at his muscle.
Yep, so you can see his vein popping and everything. So I can't file as hard as he can. and it can be very, very difficult to do so. So sometimes I would have to try to use either the fine side, and I have to ask the elephant to come back frequently so that I can continue filing as well.
But it would be nicer if you can soak elephant feed before you do it, right?
Exactly. So if you can soak the elephant feed, that's actually a difference. It make a huge difference because it doesn't cut like butter or anything like that, but it has that same sort of like smooth. You can trim much easier, and it just make your work easier. But it also can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing and you trim into the elephant nail itself. Similar to us, it would be an easier one. It's actually going to be with dogs and cat, that you actually, it has a pink line, which is where the blood flow into the nail itself. And it can actually, if you trim too close, it will hurt them, and you can cause a foot infection from the, dirt and everything that got trapped back up.
John said the same reason with when you cut your nails after shower. I think because it's clean, but both reasons
No, it's
easier
because
to
it's
cut.
soft. It's because it's soft.
Yeah, but it's clean as well.
You never have this like
Okay.
home economic class or
Another good
something?
reason to soak the elephant before you work.
It's also nice to clean the elephant foot as well, so that it get out of
can
all
see.
the mud and grime, so that you also are saving your equipment, because it's a knife. It's basically a knife. It's basically a file. If the rasp is actually get very, very blunt, then you need a new one, because you can't file that back into normal shape. So, but knives you can still trim. You can actually sharpen. You can sharpen it, but also take some skill to sharpen this as well. I'm still learning my way through it.
Okay. I just see Pisomkit try to shake elephant. With this one target training, normally the feeder is not Mahout, right? It would be someone like at the beginning, Dr Nissa do it together, but because these elephant, they have learned how to do it and they are really good at it. So now we start to ask Mahout to help. Normally you would need someone else who maybe let a Mahout sit, kind of stay around, but not join with the training.
For me, I still think that we actually still need a third person. So just in case the elephant is actually, need to be called back, or it walked away very, very fast, just to make sure. But sometimes different logistics. It's logistics, human logistics. So we'll try to do our best with this as well. So for the target training itself, you basically start off with you need different set of commands. Set of commands can be any language. It doesn't have to be English. It doesn't have to be Thai. It could probably be just like 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D if you want to. It's just that you just have to make the connection between the word to the elephant. So definitely you start off with the word target, which is basically to position the head so that the elephant know which direction you want it to go. So either you want it to go left, you want it to go right, then the elephant start off with this one. Second set of commands is basically either to keep the elephant's side against the wall so that we can inspect the side. Some elephant learn much faster if you try to do, some elephant learns in a different sort of like way. Some elephant prefer to put up the hand on the bar or the front leg on the bar first. The hand or the front leg on the bar first, and some elephant prefer to do the side first. But usually it is a sort of like you have to see how the elephant react to teach them as well. Different elephant also have very, very different time or period of time where they picked it up. The fastest that I've seen was an overnight change, where the elephant first day was very, very confusing. First session was confusing. She go back and she slept on it, and in the morning she came back and she fully understood what was going on. But that was a very, very young elephant, and I think age do come into play with this as well, because younger elephant thinks of everything like a game, and they think they want to win the game to get to the food. So there's also incentive there for the elephant. With the older elephants, it gets a bit more challenging because they are actually at the age where they know that you can't force them to do anything. So they basically can freely choose to not participate at all, or do the minimum movement so that they can actually get to the food, which I've seen before.
Okay. Just a comment from John Roberts, who is just next to me.
Subject too quickly.
Sorry.
So yeah, please feel free to send us message if you want to discuss or talk something. I just another point of let Mahout doing feeding elephant that Mahout can also learn how to do the effective positive reinforcement training as well. I think it's create the positive way for them, and Mahout see that this is really work. They can teach elephant and using food. We have other methods that we use like is how what is that the full name? Human elephant learning program. So it's another way that you could teach elephant in free contact and use food. So Mahout also use this method, which I found that after that Mahout tend to use food to ask elephant to do things that they want, like coming this way, those or another commands.
Most of the mahouts, and certainly I would say all mahouts, understand the idea of positive reinforcement and using food, and we like them to use it more than others. But what is crucial and what they often don't know until they've done this is how it needs to be. The timing is crucial to be effective. So you have to make sure that you give the positive reinforcement at exactly the right point. The elephant does what you want, and so it's the timing they learn from this. Also, the silver boots.
Nice boat during rainy season. We are in rainy season now.
I'm sorry, my head just go to the Thin Man song from Wizard of Oz.
So okay, here at the Golden Triangle Asian Elephant Foundation, we have all 20 elephants together. How many elephants can do target training? Oh, okay, tell me who cannot do it
Who cannot do?
or doesn't want to do it.
So we definitely, so it's the older set of elephants. So we have Ewong doesn't do them. Tong In the male elephant has a bit of difficulty at this time, and I think maybe his tusks might get damaged if he comes in, but we'll see. We might try when he has calmed down a little bit and see. Ewong, and we have Pumpui. Pumpui she has a lame on the back right leg. So she doesn't really, so she hasn't been in here before, but I don't think she'll be able to do it because of the physical limitation. That would be a interesting choice, but we'll see. But we'll have to see. But we'll have to see because they come in a pair set. So there's 4 that I can think of right now. Of course, we have
Bo.
Bo is sort of like a semi. I don't know. Sometimes Bo does it. Sometimes Bo does it, and sometimes she doesn't. She's trying to be like, I can choose now what to do and what not to do. So depend on her mood. I think highly depend on her mood.
Huh.
We have the
Bunsi,
Nongbens
just the new elephant.
the new arrival one in quarantine. We don't know yet. Bunsi is
Can
on and off.
do
She
it,
can do
but
on and
then-
off. It's on and off. It's on and off. Bunsi is also an on
That
and
is
off.
the thing when you
elephant.
teach the older.
Yeah, that's
elephant.
The thing with the older elephants.
Old men and powerful women, you've got to stay with difficulty training.
It's interesting to try with Ewong. Ewong has one of her eyes blind, right? So it's a bit tricky because when she can't really say, it's nervous with the training. We used to do it with her long time ago, right, Nissa? But then it doesn't work well, so we let her.
I've never done with Ewong before, but if John has an input on that, but yeah, I'm not.
We should try every elephant, just gently, and see if they like it or not.
Yeah, we can try. Carefully try.
Exactly, carefully. We put them in and see how they feel inside. I mean, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
If we do get scared, then we don't do it.
Yeah, at the moment, all elephants are just around here, as we mentioned, maybe on our Facebook or something. It floods in the grassland, so that's why now it's quite a few elephants here. They are waiting for the next target training. After finish with Yui, I think Yuki and Pulap will come.
That's Yuki. That's Yuki right
Yeah,
there.
Pulap somewhere met her.
Pulap moves a little bit.
My 2 favorite elephants.
To YU.
Yep. The Y family. The Y family.
Okay. So how long the class will normally last?
So it also depends on the attention of the elephant themselves. So some elephant can stay for a very, very long time. they are very motivated to continue for long times. But we try to make sure that it's within about 30 to about 45 minutes is maximum that I would see. The less, if you are just doing some reminding exercise with the elephant, it can be just under 15 minutes. Make sure that that the elephant still remember that they can move left, right. They can still present all of their limbs, so all of the legs. They still remember what to do, and that's all you really need for the day. If you're not going to teach it something new, teaching something new is going to be a bit more. You need time.
And the last question: how often that we have to train elephants?
How often do you have to train elephant? So it depends on the elephant. So right now, Kun Tao is doing 3 times a week per set of 4 elephant or sets of elephant that he decide on. Just to make sure that the elephant is getting sufficient time to learn different commands, and then he will move to the next set. So it could be about once a week. That is also fine as well with reminding classes. But if you're training a new elephant, if you can continue just at least for a short session, then it's still fine. So they know that it's basically sort of like a schedule that they have to keep up. Like, okay, Monday I have to go to math class, Tuesday I have to go to different sort of class. So,
Well done.
And a bit like us, though, sometimes and a bit like us, even if you for some reason have to stop for a month, or an elephant leaves for 3 months and does something else, which rarely happens, but if you have to stop for a long time, when they come back, you can always tell they remember some bits of it, but they take a little bit of time to remember all the commands.
Yay. Yui is doing well. Well done, Yui.
She's a clever girl.
she's
What is it? Yeah.
no. I'm just looking at the tail because sometimes she stuck the tail out. If you go a bit closer to the back leg, I'm just like
Okay.
just minding it. That's all. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for coming. Coming to see us on the YouTube live today on a Saturday morning, more or less. Well,
No,
in
this is
Thailand.
Sunday. Okay.
Oh,
Well.
Sunday morning, sure. Well, Saturday nights for somewhere, I guess. So thank you so much for coming in. And if you guys have any feelings,
Feelings.
someone else. Okay,
Feelings on a
if you
Sunday
guys are basically feeling generous today, I'm just gonna play with that. You guys can actually check us out at worldwideweb.helpingelephants.org to learn more about us. If you guys would like to follow us on Facebook, make sure you guys go to the at GTAF Helping Elephants. And of course, if you want to go to Instagram, we also have an account there. It's GTAF_Thailand. If you guys would like to, continue to support us, make sure that you guys go to all of these different channels and then see how you guys can support us. We do have donate button that is actually on both the website and on Facebook as well. We also are selling some of the merchandise, so you can check that out on our Facebook page. And if you guys would like to see different things that we do with the elephants, then of course keep a tab on the Facebook page, and we'll actually send out the schedule usually Sunday night, so that you guys can see what is coming on for the next week. We also have, if you guys are still on the YouTube page, definitely we also have a list of videos that we have previously done. So there are different sessions and different topics that we have covered. There's also a professional live stream where we ask some of the more expert in different fields, elephants or non-elephant related, to come and talk about some of their work as well. So if you'd like to, definitely go check that out.
Professional playlist.
And for tomorrow, for the YouTube at the moment, it's gonna be only on the weekend. Tomorrow you can come back to see us on Facebook. GTF Helping Elephant. John just put this on the comment. Thank you so much. From today, thank you, Nissa. Thank you, Pitao. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you, Yui. He raised her leg up. Bye bye.
She's waving.
ระวังเตะออกมา
Hey.